And here we go, everybody. Here on a Friday night. Looking forward to a good weekend. Uh, I'm off on Monday, so I have a bit of an extended weekend as well. Uh, Going to take a quick recap of the KBO from last night, and where do we stand on golf, both from the fantasy draft perspective as well as our sports bets. And then we're going to look ahead at tomorrow's NASCAR Xfinity race, the Unhinged 300, as well as the last UFC event in Vegas before they moved to Fight Island. Um, I've already pretty much got my roster locked up uh, for the UFC event, but I will we'll still review it and take a look at the individual fights and see what are some of the thoughts on that. And I might put a bit of a bet on the sports book as well, but we'll follow up on that either Saturday or Monday or maybe Sunday if I do another impromptu Sunday. Just following along with the golf and all that. So let's take a look here first of all at our KBO from early today. We went with the two lineups last night, like we said. One was a GPP type tournament, and the other one we focus on a double up. So first of all, the GPP tournament. Didn't work out great for us on this one. Um, Obviously K Rock gonna need a drink. It, it, that is the way I sneeze. Let me have a drink right there. You can get me more ice. So this was our lineup here. Clear that out there. And obviously, Bay is what crushed us. Picked him as our potential money saver. He gave up 8 runs in 3 innings, 9 hits, not a single strikeout. Lost over 16 points. 17.2% of the population was screwed over that one. Gagnon was our other lock for this one. He did okay, 6.6. Not great though. Otherwise, nothing terrible here. We had Troy with the Bears, which is a great pick, 24 points. Park didn't go for us, which was disappointing when we worked on getting him in there. Um, the other Troy, a hit. You'd like to see more than that when you're spending 5,100 on him, but good for 11. Sungbum not solid 10. Kang a solid 11. The other Kang a solid 16. Unfortunately, just not enough to get into the points, into the money on the GPP because of the Bay disaster. The other tournament, which remember what I said about Coup and what could possibly be the case with Coup as far as ownership goes in single entries and double ups. Well, I entered this contest into a single entry double up, and look at this. Look at that. Coup. 98.9% ownership. This was in a 180 person tournament, I believe. I mean, sometimes the hand of K Rock. Sometimes with smaller tournaments, 20, 24, 25 people, you'll see 90 or even 100% ownership. But this was 190 entrants, and it was 98.9% ownership. That's nuts. And Gagnon was surprisingly at 89. So looks like everyone was on the same page as far as that's concerned. So Edku murdered as expected. You know, 7 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, only gave up 1 run, only gave up 3 hits, got the win. Basically 34 points. So you had to have him in a matchup like this. Then the rest of the lineup did fairly well. Again, we had Choi for the 24 points. We wound up going with Althor and Na as money savers here, 3 and 2, so that was disappointing. But Park came through with the 20 points. I switched out here to go with Park from the Heroes, hoping that I could save some money. But I only saved 500 over Yang, and he still only got me 2 points. So that was disappointing. Kang did good for us here. Again, we had him in the other one. For 16 points, but we had him in at first base eligibility here. So all in all, pretty good. This was good enough to slip in. This was a top 80 people. Got money. It was a $25 double up, and this was good for 77th place. So just enough to get us into the money, which is great because it's a double up $25. So that's puts us ahead again for the night. Now we can touch base real quick. Let me jump over here. Let me clear these out. And let's do a quick follow-up on our golf roster, as well as what the sportsbook is going for us here. The golf roster, second week in a row now, not doing well for us. Matsuyama died out, missed the cut. Cauley, shot -1 today, but was even yesterday, not making the cut. Gooch, which is first cut in 13 tries. So Matsuyama, big disappointment in him this year. Cauley and Gooch, all right, that's gonna happen. Hatton, that's nice. Simpson, like I said, I probably put, again, it's my bad. I should have put some sportsbook money on him with my history of guys that I draft and fantasy not doing well 1 week and then doing great the next week. Rose, who we have money on, had a great day today. Shot -4, saved himself, and made the cut, which is great. He's at -5 right now, so he's tied for 45th place. Currently, the top 10 is sitting at -9. So Justin Rose is about 4 strokes out of the top 10. He's still got half the tournament to go. So Rose is in position that he is still alive, at least for that top 10 finish for us. Obviously, Webb is leading with a -12, so Rose is 7 strokes off the lead. It's unlikely that he's able to get up and challenge for first, but hey, there's still 2 weeks left, and like I said, I don't remember what golfer it was, but it always made me think that that's the way to look when you're following the tournament. That the first 2 rounds are just about making the cut. Learning the course doesn't matter how well you do. Learn it, get better. The third round is about just putting yourself in position to be a player on the last one, and then the last one's about bringing it home. So hey, if Rose can put together another, say -4 or -6, if he keeps getting better, wind up tomorrow in the $9 to $11 range. He could definitely in the running for a top 10 spot. And then an outside shot at winning. Plus, remember we have the $3 enhanced bet on Rose, so that for every stroke that he winds up under par, we get $3. So right now he's sitting at $15. So that would be great if he keeps on golfing well. Other guys that we have sportsbook bets on that are still, obviously we had 2 bets on Matsuyama. He's done, so he's out. Some of the other bets that we have a bet on Dustin Johnson. Nope, Justin Thomas to finish in the top 10. Just did okay today. I think he shot like a -3 or something. He's setting at -4 total right now. He made the cut. So he got an outside shot at getting to the top 10. He's alive, so that's the important thing. And then also we have a bet on Kuchar at pretty good odds to get into the top 10. Kuchar had a good day today. He shot a -5, I believe it was. So he's set at -6 going into the day. So he's only 3 strokes out of the top 10 as it stands right now. And that's the money that we have on him to get in the top 10. So we got to remember, if Kuchar, Rose, or Justin Thomas, any one of them get to the top 10, that's $100 back for us because we got 4-1 odds, I think, on all 3 of them. We put $25 because of our free bets on all of them. So we don't even have any money really at risk there. We lost the $10 on Matsuyama and the $20 on Matsuyama for the top 20. So that's $30 down. We do have a $25 cash bet on Rose to win it. So that's $55 down. But remember, because of that $25, we're getting the $3 per stroke under par. And then the other bets, the Justin Thomas, the Rose in the top 10, and the Kuchar in the top 10, those were all free bets that we either got offers on or just got for whatever else. So that is no money out of our pocket for those. So that's where that's at. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days when it comes to the golf. So next, that's all that we have to recap. Actually, we can do a little run through now on what are we gonna do for betting for our bets. And first thing that I want to look at is going into the Xfinity Series. I know that most of the articles were not written yet, but I've got the value chart ready to go. I'm going to take a quick look here. Take a quick look at okay. So what we're looking at is Yeah, so there are not really any predictions out there that I'm seeing right now. So let's just take a look at what we've got in the way of being able to build up a roster here, and then we will also obviously revisit this tomorrow. I'm just entering one lineup, probably just into a double up. So, looking at some of the performances that we've got here, a lot of people are liking. We're just gonna build this. We're gonna build this off of the value chart as much as we can. All right. So we're gonna look at getting Haley racing from the pole position at only 7,400. So let's get him in there. Um, Noah Gragson is more expensive, but where is he? Right here, 9,800. Right now, he's really top of the value. Well, way up there on value anyway. But let's take him at 9,800. And then, who is this? Let's see. Here's a nice money saver here. Robbie Lyons from the 14th spot. Only 3 races, but 4,900. So he's going to fit right into our value at 9,300 left, which is not bad at all. At that point, we can decide what do we want to do. It looks like Chastain. He's a pretty popular pick at 10 grand. Allmendinger, the most expensive one as well, is up there. Burton. This is Jack Burton, the Pork Chop Express that I'm talking to, or is listening. If we could go what if we say Chastain and Allmendinger? What does that leave us? 7,100. That fits right into a Brandon Brown, a Joe Graff. So yeah, so there's definitely. I didn't switch this back over for you, did I? No, I didn't. But there you go. Very sorry about that. But yeah, so Haley's very highly ranked on the value charts this week. Gragson is top of the chart and at 9,800. Now, Robbie Lyons is very affordable and he's in the top 10 in terms of value for this race on this track. You can get Chastain and Allmendinger, which really that right there gives you the top 3 in terms of value. It also gives you the highest scoring guy. Gragson, who's won twice, I believe, already this year, and then Chastain, who is second on the overall value chart. And like I said, with leaving you 7,100, you've got a chance to get Brandon Brown, who is what is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11th place in terms of value. You could probably switch out of Allmendinger and go with Harrison Burton if you wanted. If you did that, that would give you a chance to get Ryan Siege, which is in the top 10. Or no, sorry, he's number 12, actually. It would also give you what, 7,600? Yeah, you'd have to switch from Allmendinger down to Briscoe in order to get Tommy Joe, who's coming in at 7,800. So definite possibilities there. I would say definitely lock in Haley and Graxon as your top two top two choices there, and then build around them. I'm probably going to go with Allmendinger, and then some combination of Chastain, Lyons, Siege, Brown. Yeah, those will be the guys that I'll be looking at to complete that entry. So now let's go from there over to the MMA. Now, like I said, I've already um, figured out most of my picks on this one. And that's primarily because I'm really favoring the early fights on this one, not so much the top cards, the top five. In fact, we don't have anybody in the top five. Here's the lineup that I'm looking at right now. There's Roskopf, who is making his MMA debut. He is supposedly has a really good ground game, wrestling game. Hubbard throws a lot of power shots, but that there's not a lot of uh, ability to keep it on the feet that long. So if Roskopf does, because he took this on early notice. I think they said he only had 2 weeks in order to make his UFC debut, and I think that he's going to really look to do what he does best, take people down, and get the win early there. Camacho is pretty heavily favored over Jane. Um, it's expected that Camacho will dominate the round. Krauts are probably going to go with that. Van Buren over Torres. Van Buren's pretty heavily favored. Um, as well as Bobby Green is favored over Clay Guida. I love Clay Guida. Don't get me wrong. One of my all-time favorite MMA guys to watch fight. Um, Clay does have a tendency to make every fight worth watching. Um, but I don't know how old he is now. Um, he's been around forever. I don't know. Let me see if I can. He has to be up there though. He has to be. Let's see. Clay Guida. Okay, he's 38. He's actually a little younger than I thought he was. I thought for sure he'd be in his 40s. Um, so I feel like I've been watching him for 20 years. And maybe I have. Um, but yeah, I love watching this guy. Um, but but I don't think he's gonna have a chance against Bobby Green. Go. Yeah. So yeah. So Van Buren against Torres. Um, Van Buren's fairly heavily favored to win the fight. Um, yeah, Van Buren is she's really good wrestler. She has great takedowns. Um, you know, there's talk that there might be nobody in her division that can defend or can wrestle with her. And then she also has decent striking ability. Um, and she can probably win the fight either on the ground or on the mat. Taurus is a tough fighter. She's gonna hang in there. Might go the decision. I think it's gonna get. I think Van Buren will get the win. A lot of people are calling for a decision, but I think Van Buren's gonna get the win outright. So that's why I'm going through Bobby Green and Clay Guida. Bobby, like I said, is very heavily favored. Um, Guida is, as you probably know if you follow MMA at all, just a takedown wrestling machine. That's what he does. Um, and Green is pretty strong with his recovery, so that even if Guida does successfully take him down, Bobby Green has a good ability to get back to his feet. Um, and then, oh yeah, and then I went with uh, uh, Courtney Casey. This one is a much more even fight, and it really fit into the budget nicely for us here. Um, Both folks want to go to the ground more or less. Robertson is Julian Robertson. Uh, she has virtually no striking ability. Um, so she's going to definitely want to get this down on the ground. Casey isn't great from fighting from her back, but she does have submission ability. So Robertson is going to try to get this on the ground and go for submissions. If she can't get the submission, then Casey's going to wind up winning it. Um, but it's gonna be a closer fight. And then lastly, I was looking at uh, right Marc Andre Barriault, who is a bit of an underdog. Actually, he's Oscar is the favorite here. But from what I've read, and this is some of the insight from CBS, is that a number of the experts there seem to feel that this is a situation with if Barriault can survive the first round, that Pietrota there is going to come out and really try to put this away in the first round, but that he doesn't have the cardio to go 3 rounds deep. Um, and so that if Marc Andre can avoid the big knockout, the big knockdown early, that he's going to wind up dominating for the later rounds. We'll see, because it also fit into our into our salary cap nicely there. But we'll track this. I'm going to enter this into just one tournament, just a $12 single entry tournament. Um, now as we get back to the bigger sports, I'll probably normally, like I said, normally whenever the the main sports are up and running, my comfort zone in terms of betting is in the $3 to $12 range. For the first part of the year there, we were going with the $1 and the $1, $2, sometimes $3 for KBO, because that's all we had was KBO. But as more and more come back, we'll settle more into that $3 to $12 range with the occasional, 20 or 20, and that's different for double ups, but the $20 or $25 big tournament just to take a shot. So this will be a $12 single entry, 1,470 person tournament, and we'll see how that goes tomorrow. We've been so far in MMA. The first 2 MMA events that we played since we started streaming, we had one MMA fantasy roster that did no good for us, but we did very well on the sports book. Then last week we played 3 different MMA fantasy rosters, and surprisingly, 2 of them won, even after we had suffered a loss early on. Some of the scores of the winners that we had were so high, it wound up moving 2 of them into into the money, and we didn't place any sportsbook bets last week just because there wasn't anything that we really liked. I think I am going to go with an extended parlay actually on the sportsbook this one. Probably just a $5 bet, but taking a number of the favorites that we talked about there. Let me see if I can pull it up and give you what I was looking at for my little $5 parlay. But it's not little. It's a 5 fighter parlay. So it's very unlikely that we'll get all 5 of them. Even if we do, it's not a huge payout. But it worked out nicely that every there was enough favored fighters that I liked the idea of parlaying them together because just ratio wise it was worth more than you would have had to put $30 per fighter to bet individually to try to win money, whereas this little $5 parlay, if we win it, will return about $23. And it's going with Van Buren, like I said, who I like. Going with Bobby Green, who I like. Going with Frank Camacho, who was heavily favored. Then in the main event, going with Curtis Blades over Alexander Volkov. Blades is, I believe, the biggest favorite of the night. And then also taking Roosevelt Roberts against Jim Miller in the third or fourth, I don't remember. One of those, somewhere in the top 5. So those are 2 of the main card bets. So yeah, taking Van Buren, Blades, Roberts, Green, and Camacho on a 5-fighter parlay for $5. So then let's move on now and get back and take a look at our KBO for tomorrow. This one I'm going with a $12 entry here just because lately, even though the last GPP that we were in earlier today, we didn't win. Over the last 3 days, we've really done very, very well on Korean baseball. We've had counting earlier today. Now I think it's 5 straight double ups at $25. So that alone is $125 up. And then we've also had a very good night there the other night where we finished 10th in a whatever it was, 297 or 300 person tournament. Got another $50 there. So we're significantly ahead right now. We're in a good place. If it wasn't for the golf, we would have been on a real streak overall. So now let's take a look at what we got happening today in the KBO. Let me clear some of this up here. We don't need the MMA anymore. All right. So, what's the first thing we do nowadays when we're looking at pitching? Who's going against the Eagles? Against the Dinos. Jae Hawk Lee is pitching for the Dinos today. Um, Now let's take a look at him. I mean, obviously, this isn't looking like a guy who should be $8,900. Uh, and he's going up against Warwick, right? He is going up against the best. Go to Warwick. But let's take a look at Jay Hockley. Jay Hockley, 7 games started, 3 wins, 2 losses, gives up about a hit an inning, 21 earned runs, 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That's okay. 1.3 whip is not great. 2.57 batting average against isn't terrible, but not great. ERA leaves a lot to be desired here, um, because he has not scored a lot of runs anywhere. Well, here you go. Against the Eagles 2 starts ago, 20 points. All right. I mean, it's almost becoming comical and almost something you have to think about or consider, because more and more people, you know, right now it's not like there's a ton of people that watch this stream, um, but more and more people are going to keep on catching on to the point now that it doesn't matter who's pitching. If they're pitching against the Eagles, start them. You're going to get points out of it. So you got to look at Jay Hockley. Again, I love Warwick's Uphold. His name is Warwick. And he pitches for the Eagles. And somehow he still has 3 wins for the Eagles. I mean, like, this guy, he beat the Bears, right? Last time out. Look at this. He got them a 3-2 win. But man, that's gotta be rough. And the fact that he's going against the Dinos, very hard to warrant getting him in there. Now this is Young Gun, right? Is this Young Gun, Joe? Yeah, this is Young Gun going against the Wyverns, who struggle, right? They struggle. he's only started 3 games. He's won one, gives up a fair number of hits, a fair number of runs, walks more people than he strikes out, gives up a lot of runners per inning. Very bad batting average against, not a good ERA. But he's going against the Wyverns, so you have to consider him where he's only 6,000. The Lions, not that great. Ki Young Im. Yeah, this is a guy you gotta consider. 3 wins, 3 losses. Sure, he gives up about a hit per inning, but he's only walked 5 folks. He struck out 34, so the WHIP is down there close to 1.1. Batting average is fairly high. ERA is okay. ERA is good. So yeah, you gotta look at Ki Young Im as well. But so I'm looking early on, Jay Hockley, Ki Young Im. K-in-1. Uh, 4 wins, 1 loss, 42 hits in 43 innings, 14 walks, about a 1.3 whip. That's not great. 253 batting average isn't terrible. Great ERA. That's a shockingly good ERA given these numbers, actually. Um, Juan has not allowed a run in 3 of his last 4 starts. And he has given up more than 2 earned runs just once all season. Well, that is fascinating. And the Tigers are not a powerhouse offensively. They are coming in. They're coming in with the 6th. So they're in the bottom half of runs per game. Can't look at Casey Kelly going against the Bears. Can't look at Park. Let's take a look at Park actually though, because that might give us more of a reason to. Oh, he's making his. Okay, so for some reason his stats aren't updated here because this says that he made his season debut last Sunday. And he had 5 strikeouts. Yeah, I don't know why his stats are not updated on the site there. So, I mean, according to the analysis, he pitched 4.2 innings, only gave up 5 runners, and struck out 5. And gave up 3 runs. So, we're not really going to consider starting him. Young gun. So, you're looking at, if you had to save money, go with Young Gun. Just because he's going against the Wyverns. What's the story with Lee here? Six games and he's pitched under 22 innings. So this guy is a short timer in terms of him being out there. I think you're looking at some combination of Jayhawk Lee, Tai In Woon, Ki Young Im, and Young Gun Joe as a long shot money saver if you wanted to go that way. If I want to go with one guy, it's going to be Ki Young Im. Him going against the Lions would definitely seem to be the way to rank. The Lions are currently 7th in points scored. So let's go with our normal process here. Go with Ki Young Im as our starting pitcher. Who would we think of stacking here? Let me see. We are still streaming. Pizza. I don't want any now.
Just for the plate.
Just for the plate.
Hand of K-Rock delivers. many things.
Let's see here. This guy is not great. 46 hits in 38 third innings pitched. 27 earned runs. It's remarkable. Opponents have a 297 batting average. That's a pretty important stat for me. Uh, if a pitcher has a high batting average against them, that just means that whoever he's pitching against is getting on base well. So who do we like? Well, we're a little disappointed in the points the Dinos have thrown up. And they're going against the best pitcher the Eagles got. So I kind of feel like steering a little away from the Dinos in terms of their batting order, even if I do wind up going Jayhawk Lee opposing Southport, which I may not do. I mean, again, this is you have to you gotta assume Jayhawk Lee's going to get more than his average 9.2, just because he's going against the Eagles. But I might just turn it into a double stack and go Key Young Im and Ty In one against each other and look for a pitching duel. That's worked for us in the past. It worked for us the other day when we had our big payoffs. So that might be what we're looking at. So who else do we like then? Oh wait, let me jump back over to pictures. I like the idea of maybe going up against him here with the Wiz. So going with the Giants is what I'm saying. Going against the pitcher for the Wiz. Maybe do that. Maybe go with the Twins there. Going up against Park. Although I don't quite trust the fact that his stats aren't updated. I don't know if that's the universe telling me something to stay away from that. And then and then we kind of like the Heroes going against Junwook Lee there. As I'm thinking about it, here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm probably going to look at Ki Young Im and Ty In one as a double stack pitching, hoping for a pitching performance. Just remove that game from the hitting options and not take anybody from the Lions or the Tigers. Stay away from the Dinos hitters against Soppold. And then look at some of the Giants against the struggling. Look at some of the Twins. And look at some of the Heroes. All right, focus on those three teams and see what we can put together here. So, what have we got? We have 4,700. Now actually, let's just see. Let's grab Ty In one right now. So we have 43.37. if we go that way. If we go this way, we got 43, 37. If we look at some of the Giants, some of the Twins, and some of the Heroes, what can we get? So let's see. First of all, I'd like to try to find a couple of strong hitters and then save money somewhere. All right, so looking at possibly for the Heroes, going with Jung Ho Lee here in the outfield. You can see he's batting .371, 6 home runs, 18 doubles, 24 RBIs. Lately, let's see, 1 for 2. He went 0 for 4, but then he went 4 for 4, 1 for 3. Four for 4, 1 for 3, another 0 for 4, 2 for 4 with a homer. So an 18, a nothing, a 23, 2, 9, 24, and nothing on a 7. So let's take a look at putting him in there. If we go Jung Ho Lee in the outfield. King Sao Lee right here. King Sao Lee, he's been in a bit of a slump, but he bats leadoff. Where is he? King Sao Lee here. So he's a first base, second base eligibility. We threw him in there. We're still at 41-33, which is pretty good. Okay. Let's take a quick look here at the batting order. For the Twins. Okay. Let's move Sal out of here because we know he has first base, second base eligibility. Let's look at putting Ramos in there. Ramos was hitless, I believe. Yeah, he went 0 for 5. Okay. He went 0 for 5, but he's batting 353. 13 home runs. All right, so 0 for 5 could mean that he's looking to bounce back in a big way. So let's make sure we get him in there. And then move Sal over to the second base eligibility. If we get Ramos in there, then we're probably going to want to look at getting... We're probably going to want to look at getting... Hyun-Soo Kim. Wait, yes? Hyun-Soo Kim or... Oh, no. No. Let's go with Unsung Chae as which is technically a bit of a money saver, but he's been hot. Yeah, you gotta go Unsung Chae here. He's batting third, right in front of Ramos. So we're starting to build a little bit of a stack there. Who else would we fit in there? We could go... The thing about the Korean baseball is, it seems like everybody plays the outfield. You know, I mean, multiple teams have 4 guys listed starting every game, and their only positional ability is the outfield. It's probably because of the DH rule, so most of them just happen to have extra outfielders, and they can fit them into the outfield wherever they... Oh yeah, gotta get my spreadsheet for work spreadsheet. I'll worry about that later. Don't need it till Monday. Yeah, we might go with their leadoff man, Chun Wung Lee, for the Twins. But if we do, that's the last outfielder position we have. If we look at the Giants a bit more. There's Samson, who was a lefty facing a righty. Now the Giants have been averaging, even though they're scoring only about 4.5 runs per game for the season, in the last 10 they've been averaging a little over 6. So that's really the main reason we would be considering the Giants at all. Let's take a look at some other roster here. So Ace Upson is batting leadoff now. He's batting leadoff now. He's in the outfield. Let's take a look at Ace Upson. let's just put him in there. I mean, at this point, you've got $4,200 left, and you've got a catcher, third base, and shortstop. You're going to be able to fill that roster out pretty easily. Um, so my locks here, if you're not looking at the double stack, my lock for pitcher is Ki Young Im. I say definitely get Roberto Ramos in there. Definitely go with Lee. Gotta get Che, just because he is such a money saver at this point right now. So then you've already got a Ramos Che part of your stack going. So it's going to be pretty easy to fill this out the rest of the way. You know, let's see, some of your options would be a hard time. So many outfielders. I would say, yeah, you're looking at maybe going with Dixon Machado. You know, he's coming at 4,300. He's got shortstop eligibility, so you could get him in there. There are not a lot of who we might be looking at in terms of the catcher and third base. Woo. You could maybe look at Kang Namayu, the catcher for the Twins. He bats sixth, and he comes in at around 4,000. So you could fit him into your lineup here. You need that position. Third base. Third base. Third base. Maybe. Maybe Byung-Woo Jun for the Heroes. Again, you don't necessarily need to stick with just those teams. So if we look elsewhere for third baseman, you know, we want to stay away from the whole Lions and Tigers game. You could maybe try to fit Jae-Hyung Wang in there from the Wiz. He's coming at $5,000, and he bats sixth. Sukman Park for the Dinos is coming at 4,800, but he bats seventh and is going against Saupold. I would stay away from him. He's 4,800 too. That's too expensive. Dong Han Kim for the Giants. He bats eighth. He's a money saver at 2,300, but I mean that might not be a bad pick. If you went with, you know, Dong Han Nim, it would fit into your stack and give you a good bit of money, and then you could look at at a Hustle Kim for the heroes, right? Bat and cleanup, $6,000. You could probably fit him in there then. So yeah, you can definitely make it happen. You know, that's gonna be my plan. I think I'm just gonna play the one roster today. Um, yeah, we've been ahead. We're well ahead. We've definitely more than recovered from last weekend. We're going into this weekend with a number of PGA bets that are live. Or at least one of them with a decent shot, Kuchar. Um, I would say has a better than decent shot at getting into that top 10. And then Rose has to be considered as a uh, uh, outside shot. I wouldn't say bad. I'd give him, 25, 30% decent probability of getting up into the top 10. And then even, like I said, Justin Thomas is still alive. We've only been halfway through. Nobody has run away with it. Webb Simpson has played consistently, -6, -6, to lead. But you've got Kuchar at -6 and Justin Rose at -5 and Justin Thomas at -4. And again, we don't need any of them to win. Just get into the top 10. So we'll see how that goes. So we've got those alive. We'll have our NASCAR picks going tomorrow. We'll have our golf touch base. We'll have our KBO. I'll be streaming tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will recap how the KBO goes tonight. Just the one lineup. And maybe follow some racing. Maybe follow some fighting while it's on. And then we'll also look ahead to Sunday NASCAR. So we'll place our NASCAR bets tomorrow, and more KBO. And I think that's it for Sunday. So it'll be a fun weekend. And that's really it for right now, guys and girls, and otherwise. Stay safe out there. Keep gambling. Good luck. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.